South Africa just lost to Panama with 2 goals to 1. So I was watching the game. Now, within the first 15 minutes, on the second minute, I've realized that Panama actually looked very sound tactically, and they were setting nice traps for Bafana, and the high press yabo was very, very impressive with Paria, Upuma, no Diaz, and also joining Harvey, no Carrasque. So those players were actually very, very good in actually setting traps for the players like Umbogazi or Corner, sometimes Modiba, including Williams, and also Jaden Adams when he going deep to actually fetch the ball, or Utebo Homkona, depending who's actually availing himself to actually get the ball and progress the play for South Africa. So they were very, very good in that, and their high presses were very, very dangerous, because you could see that anytime if Bafana can lose a ball on their first line of build-up phase, they are going to get punished. That's how magnificent Panama was in terms of setting down traps and also a high press up. They are very, very tactical. So they are a good side. Through and through, they are a good side. I saw a number of good players, and in terms of how they keep their shape, they're very, very good. You could see that they are a team that is way above South Africa in terms of ranking, but not that they were superior than us, but there are beautiful things that I've seen with their game. Actually, how they connect themselves, even on their build-up phase. I think Ukotoba, their central back, I think is very, very good. It's very, very good, including Ramos. I think those two players also are the players that scored. They are defenders, but they are players that actually scored goals with Panama. Now, looking at South Africa on the other end, I want to look into the lineup in South Africa. So it was a 1-4-2-3-1, the standard formation from South Africa, identity of South African football, because that's how most of the teams in South Africa plays. A 4-2-3-1 can be shaped into a 4-3 sometimes, depending on the personnel that is in the field of play. Now, if you have Chris Mudau, no more Diba as a fullbacks, you know that they're going to play up high, and they are going to actually add numerical advantages in terms of the attack, and also overloading that middle to make sure that South Africa control the middle and also forces opponents to play on the back foot. So if you have those two players, you know that's what's going to happen. Now, central pairing, this defensive central pairing, my central defenders, Umboga's on the left, Okone on the right. Fantastic game to both of them. And there's something that I need to speak about too. I think Ime Okone is very good, very, very good on position of the ball. He can play, he's comfortable on the ball, he can spray those passes, and also he's very, very good when he is out of position and he will need to actually defend as a defender. I think he's very, very good. Few things that I think lacks in his game, it's timing and a good reading of the game. In some situations, he is found out of position. I think if he can actually fix that, he can be a very, very good defender. And I think Namhlanje, if you compared his game today to the last game where he played with Okulis on the man, I think today he's had a very, very good game compared to that one. I think Umbogazi with him complement each other very, very well, and I think he get to be a little bit more comfortable playing with Umbogazi. So maybe it's something that we're going to look for in the future with those two playing a center pairing. But also, I would always keep saying that there's Zulebone CM, who has proven that him and Umbogazi are a duo that is unbreakable. Finally, CM Agekola, what we have Okone and some of the other gentlemen that are there that are actually maybe paired with Umbegazile Mbowazi going to the World Cup. Now, in the middle, they had Jaden Adams. Jaden Adams is fantastic. He's one of those players that were brought back into the national team, and then he raised his hands and showed that, okay, I'm here to play and I want the opportunity. That's what Jaden Adams gives you when he's in that field of play. And Shais Ngovali, if he's in the position of the ball, you know that when he fetches the ball, he's going to play the right pass. If he's not going to play a pass, he needs to dribble a man. He's going to do that as minimal as possible. He hardly loses on a ball. So I think he's one of the players today who gave fantastic performance in my opinion. But what we need to ask as far as Jaden Adams is concerned is that are we going to get at least 60 minutes in terms of his performance? Because on the second half, you could see that he was a little bit tired, probably because he's not even playing a full 90 minutes to Mamelodi Sundowns. Maybe that's what actually come into play, but he's a fantastic bowler in that middle of the park. So it's going to be very, very interesting seeing Jaden Adams, seeing Utebo Homkwena, seeing Talent Mbata, but there's also Uyaya Stoller. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see who is he going to pick going to the World Cup, because I think 4 of them have something to give, and some of these 4 players are actually have a little bit of an edge in terms of progressing in play, and also the fact that they can score goals. So that might be the difference. But in terms of defensive and shielding the defense, I think they all can give you the same thing. Now up front, the Konum Fokeng as a number 10, Moremi on the left, and Uhlongwane and Ulali Foster is our out-and-out striker. I thought that's what I saw. That number 1 is South Africa fell back between the beginning stages of the game, and they looked like they were a team that was going to play on transition, but it was the fact that Panama was so good, at least on the first 7 minutes. After 7 minutes, South Africa looked like they find their rhythm, because they could circulate the ball around and trying to spray on those passes, finding players that are opening up for attack. I thought, okay, now we are finding our rhythm. But the fact that Panama was very tactical. I saw Uhlongwane somehow in this game looked a little bit shaky, looked a little bit out of place, looked a little bit not in sync with the rest of the squad, probably because he's been not with the squad for so long, for years, and he's been introduced today maybe after 4 or 5 years. I think that showed in his game today, because there's a pass that was played by Urele where he received the ball inside the box, and it was an open net with the goalkeeper to beat, but he failed to convert that. So those were some of the instances that actually showed that in terms of syncing with the team, he was struggling a little bit, probably because of the personnel that he was playing with Namhlanje, because what Rele brings on the field of play and also what Moremi brings, including Ulaili Force, I think it's something very, very special in my opinion. Especially Urele, followed by Jaden Adams. I think they bring something very, very special. And Uhlongwane to actually fit into that play, he needs to be special as well. Because I looked at him Namhlanje, every time he looked like a resort to defensive play. So I'm not sure that somehow they've converted him from a winger into a fullback. I don't know, because he looked like most of the times he looked as if he's a player that who usually reset back into a defensive mode, not into an attacking mode. That's what I've read sitting here by Uhlongwane. But I think if we still had time towards the World Cup and we had some more games to play, probably was going to be in sync with the Raiders squad, because I believe that he's a good player, very, very fantastic player, and what he needs actually is just to find that, find his feet and actually gel with the squad. That's all that he needs. When you look at the 27th minute, South Africa began controlling the game, but they failed to capitalize on that. They created a number of half chances. Also, Lily Foster gotten some chance. He failed to actually make something out of that. And I think that the problem with our team right now, going to the World Cup, I think our team needs to understand that every type of chance that we create, we need to actually capitalize on that. Even if it's a half chance, if we can be able to create anything out of the situation, it doesn't matter if it's a one-on-one with the goalkeeper, a clear-cut scoring opportunity, or a half chance, we need to kill that. We need to bury that, because in the World Cup, it's going to be even harder than what we saw against the Panama. It's going to be very, very hard, because what's happening in the club level in terms of finishing, in terms of being clinical in front of goal, you could see that it's translating into the national team. Rwanda is creating a lot of opportunities. We pull on the Pirates, but the conversion rate is not that good. And even here, he created a couple of chances. The other one that was I just pointed out was for Uhlongwane, and the conversion rate was also not good. So we need to work on that as a team. That's number one. Number two, we need to work on defending the set pieces, because once Ronald Williams was taken out and they brought in Ronaldo Lina, the disaster began to happen in terms of set pieces, because Panama scored both their goals on set pieces because there was no proper leader in the back, someone who could read the game and actually anticipate movement that are happening in and around the box, because Williams wasn't there. So if I'm a defensive pairing weight are new and they are not used to play with each other, we need a leader like Williams. So I think Ronaldo Lina, but I'm hoping that in the future it will actually, I think it's something that will take to Isekukuna and actually help him actually take his game to the next level, because he needs to actually be as commanding as Williams in that box or Chain in that matter, because I think the other second best goalkeeper we have in the country right now is Usipo Shane. So Ronaldo Lina to actually raise to that level of goalkeeping, I think he needs to fix his reading of the game and his communication with his defense. These type of goals could have been actually been avoided. And also, I think on the first goal, everybody pushed up, and then Uyema corner was delayed a little bit for a few seconds. I think that what actually led to the first goal. And then on the second goal, Modiba failed to actually block the winger to actually whip in that cross. But at the same time, our defenders, Oyeno Mbogazu, Okona Nomodao, were out of shape. Hence, Ipanama find themselves free, and then they had a dead ball, the second ball, in the back of the net. But there was a screamer goal that was scored by Umbegeza Mbogazi. It was a fantastic goal, He was set up by Umshishu Temazwan, and he just set it up and just scream above it. If you didn't see that goal, you need to check it out. So, Coach, somehow in the second half, Coach brought on Ulina and Mahopa, upkeeper Williams the Foster. I think Mahopa got an opportunity. Have chance basically a header which landed on the roof of the net. I think that was very, very good attempt for Mahopa, because it's the only chance that he got as a striker. So you could see that when it comes to him and Randy Foster sometimes was a little bit shaky in terms of confidence. But then when he came in, he was a little bit more confident, and you could see that introduction Shishi, and not only Umshishi, and also Masego actually take the game to the next level. We were even more faster, even more dangerous in front of goal. But unfortunately, Lamaset pieces let us down, because we considered. But we did create some of the chances on the second half. I think we looked like we were actually the ones who were going to score the second goal. But unfortunately, that set piece that we considered a corner kick resulted to a goal. So it was a beautiful game. I think we do have a team, in my opinion. It's just that we need to fix few errors here and there. But from where I'm sitting right now, I could tell who is going to the World Cup and who is not going to the World Cup based off the players that played with the Panama on Friday and also today. I could see that who might make the team and who might not make the team in terms of the performances. So it was a good test for our squad, and I'm hoping that Coach Hugo Broos actually gotten what he was looking for. I think Panama really bring it, and I think his standard of football that they brought also was on a good enough level for us to test ourselves. Forget about the goals that we considered. Forget that we lost the match. Look at the positives, and also from what's not positive, how are we going to fix that moving forward? I think that's what we only need to do. Thank you, everybody. This is Nevertheless Commentaries. My name is Sipho Ndlovu. This is Nevertheless Commentaries. I will see you again. I wonder what was flying here. I will see you again on the next match. I'm hoping that I'm going to see them City over the weekend and actually cover that game. But I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you on the next one. I love you so much. Peace.